Today I'm going to show you how I always start my pet portraits, whether they're in acrylic or oil over acrylic. I tint my canvas with sienna so that I can see my highlights that I place down. Darker values are easier to see right away. I always start with black. This usually means outlining the shape of the eyes, the iris, and the pupils. The nose and the nostrils, the jowls, and the shadows next to the face where the ears lay. My lightest values that I paint in white acrylic are the lightest parts of the fur, or where the sun hits the fur, along with the whites of the eyes, and that includes the light reflection and reflections on the nose. I use a larger, flatter brush for this because I'm not trying to obsess over the details right away, and this underpainting serves more as a guide to help me along. Depending on the color of the fur, I mostly use burnt umber or brown of some sort, yellow ochre to soften my brown, Paynes Grey, which is it's a blue gray, black and white. Why do I start with the eyes? Well, they're fun, but also if I can get the eyes right, I have confidence for the rest of the piece and the features. Plus, an eyeless dog looks very unpersonable. I add final details to the eyes once I finish the entire face. It kind of just makes everything come together. Soft, wet noses reflect blue light. Either they pick it up from outside, the sky, from the television, or the lighting in the room. But if I were to use black and white, it would be incredibly easy for me to make the nose too dark, or it would just look flat. I use Paynes Grey and white, adding in black only where I absolutely need it. The colors in between my lightest and darkest values. In this case, it's a caramel color and a light yellow for a golden retriever. And I'll add to these colors later, but in the beginning, a base color is a good start. I'll paint in between my lightest values and then eventually mix my midtones with white and go back over my highlights. In most cases, I use crimson in the tongue because it provides a nice, almost like pomegranate hue, and dilutes to a soft pink when mixed with white. I find that cadmium red and other red hues start to look orange when diluted, and it doesn't make the tongue look cute. The crimson also pairs nicely with Paynes Grey or a darker blue to create those purplish shadows that are on the tongue. Once that first layer of paint is set on top of the underpainting, I can start to add in more details such as fur direction and textures. I can also go in and correct my colors if I need to, and add in some really crisp whites. I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and if you want, you can follow me into the next video. I'll be adding the second layers of paint, the fur direction, the detail on the nose and the tongue, just more detail in general, and fixing my colors up a bit.